Seniors are getting so cash strapped that they're considering getting a reverse mortgage. So yeah, these things have gotten so bad that they're taking seniors' hard-earned homes away from them. That's why I thought we would take a very serious look at the situation. They say that there's a huge Social Security increase coming in 2023, but how does it really fare against the true cost of the aging index? I've been hearing from a lot of you. Many seniors can't afford basic necessities anymore. Is it the same for you guys? Plus, there's also the future of Social Security on the line. Some are saying that the COLA boost coming next year could mean that the benefits would run out sooner. And the more important question, what are our American people appointed lawmakers doing about this? Well, the likes of Senator Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, they want to boost Social Security by $2,400 a year. Now, on the other hand, some Republicans, they plan to cut Social Security. So, will voters let them? Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. I say we shouldn't dare let them touch Social Security. Americans worked hard for it. We paid for it. They earned whatever payments Social Security has for them. It's totally not a handout like most billionaires and entrepreneurs and even investors are saying. Now, if you own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. The link is in the description down below. Make sure one of your biggest investments is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. The link is in the description down below. And, well, you know what? The politicians, they need to pay back the trillions of dollars that they stole from Social Security with interest out of their exorbitant paychecks. That would help solve some of the Social Security problems. What do you guys think? Anyway, so more of these Social Security solutions as we go along. So first, let's take a look at how serious this is with cash-strapped seniors already considering what they're calling a reverse mortgage on their hard-earned homes.
You've probably heard of a mortgage, but what about a reverse mortgage? Turns out it's an increasingly popular tool to tap in retirement. Here's how it works. Most people's biggest asset is their home, and for a whole lot of retirees, that home equity is a major source of untapped wealth. This is where the reverse mortgage comes into play. It's a product where the borrower, in this case the retired homeowner, gets payments from the lender, gradually chipping away at that equity. They don't have to actually pay back that loan or the interest on it until they move out or, given the age bracket, head 6 feet under. Over time, the loan gets bigger, interest accrues, and equity goes down.
Have to give up their homes, which they pretty much worked so hard for almost their entire lives. There's something definitely wrong with the system here. They're talking about the supposedly huge Social Security increase coming in 2023. But really, how much are your checks going to be? Your new Social Security payment won't necessarily be exactly 8.7% more than what you currently receive. It's not that simple. The COLA isn't actually applied to Social Security recipients' benefits. Instead, it's applied to each person's primary insurance amount, also known as the PIA. So the PIA, this is the benefit that you would get if you began receiving Social Security retirement benefits at your normal retirement age. So if you retired early, your monthly benefit would be a little bit lower than you might have expected. Now, one obvious way to be able to find out what your new monthly benefit payment is going to be would be just to wait until you receive your first Social Security payment for 2023. But there's other ways to find that out earlier. All right, so first there's the letter. Very, very important letter, guys. Do not lose that COLA letter in the mail. You might have already received this notice from the Social Security Administration, maybe not. Now, if not, you can access your personal My Social Security account online. There should be a message telling you how much your new benefit's going to be in 2023. You could also do the math if you want to. So the average monthly Social Security benefit for retirees in 2023 will increase to $1,827 a month. Now, I know that the average person's probably not going to get that much. I'm not sure exactly how much Social Security payments you're receiving on a monthly basis, but this is the average. Now, the average was $1,681 before the 8.7% COLA. For cases where both spouses are retired and receive Social Security benefits, the average total amount of the benefit would be $2,972 next year, which is actually up from $2,734. Now, the maximum monthly benefit in 2023 for workers who retired at their full retirement age will be $3,627, up from $3,345. So about a couple of $100 more if you think about it. Now, on top of that, some extra dollars may hit your bank account above and beyond the Social Security COLA each next month. Medicare Part B premiums, which are automatically deducted from your monthly Social Security benefits, those are decreasing in 2023. The standard Medicare Part B premium will be $5.20 lower next year. Now, on the other hand, it's possible that your big Social Security increase could boost your income to a level where it's subject to higher federal taxes. You could then owe more in state taxes as well. Depends on where you live. Plus, there's really no guarantee that COLA will be enough to offset the higher living costs. In fact, more than half of the retirees who responded to a recent survey, they did not think that the 8.7% increase is going to be enough. Hit the like button if you guys agree with me on that one. I read the story about Fran Seeley. She's 81 years old. She's a retired teacher who gets about $925 a month from Social Security and a $287 check disbursement from an individual retirement account. To make ends meet, she's taken out a reverse mortgage on her Poland, Maine home that yields about $400 a month. So far, Seeley has been able to live off of this income, which is about $19,000 a year. How's she been doing it? Very carefully. She's been monitoring her spending and drawing on limited savings. But should her excellent health worsen or should she need assistance at her home, Seeley doesn't know how she would be able to pay for those expenses. More than half of older women living alone, 54% to be exact, they're in a very similarly iffy financial situation, either poor according to federal poverty standards or with incomes too low to pay for essential expenses. For men, the share is surprisingly lower, surpassing 45%. That's according to a valuable but little known measure of the cost of living standard for older adults. Now, the Elder Index, developed by the researchers of the Institute of the University of Massachusetts, Boston, this particular index, it calculates the cost of healthcare, housing, food, transportation, and miscellaneous expenses for seniors. It represents a bare bones budget adjusted for older adults who live alone or part of a couple, whether they're in poor, good, or excellent health, and whether they own or they rent their homes with or without a mortgage. Pretty much everyone. And when you take a hard look at these numbers, you get a very clear picture of how seniors have been living and barely surviving. In 2020, the index shows that nearly 5 million older women living alone, 2 million older men living alone, and more than 2 million older couples had their incomes that made them economically insecure. And those estimates, they were before inflation soared to more than 9%, and older adults continued to lose jobs during the second and the third years of the pandemic. Now, with those stressors laid on, even more people are struggling. One national example, the Elder Index, this estimates that a single older adult in good health paying rent needed $27,000 on average per year just for basic expenses in 2021. $14,100 more than the federal poverty level, sitting at $12,996. For couples, the gap between the index's calculation of necessities and the poverty threshold was even greater. And the big problem is Medicaid, food stamps, housing assistance, and other safety net programs that help older adults. They're based on federal poverty standards. So in essence, older adults, they're really getting left behind. In April, University of Massachusetts researchers, they show that Social Security benefits cover only a fraction of what older adults need for basic living expenses. 68% for a senior in good health who lives alone and pays rent, and 81% for an older couple in the same situation. Now, as far as the experts point out here, quote, far too many people are one crisis away from economic insecurity, end quote. Organizations across the country have been using the Elder Index to convince policymakers that older adults need more assistance. In New Jersey, where 54% of seniors are economically insecure, according to the index, advocates use the data to protect property tax relief programs for older adults during the pandemic. In New York, where nearly 60% of seniors are economically insecure, advocates persuaded the legislature to raise the Medicare income eligibility threshold. In San Diego, where as many as 40% of seniors are economically insecure, Serving Seniors, a nonprofit agency persuaded county officials to use pandemic-related stimulus payments to expand senior nutrition programs. As a result, the agency has been able to double production of home-delivered meals to more than 1.5 million people annually. You have seniors whose biggest worry is not being able to afford living in their homes or becoming ill. Medical expenses could wipe them out in no time financially. Seriously, guys. Add to the fact that Social Security cash reserves, they're set to run out by 2034, and then benefits will be cut by 23%. Congress really needs to do something about this. Options are on the table. Raise Social Security benefits by $2,400 a year or cut Social Security. I think the better option is obvious here. Senator Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, together with their colleagues, they're offered up this Social Security Act to shore up the Social Security Trust Fund and give seniors a well-deserved boost in their benefits. As Bernie Sanders said here, quote, "It's time to scrap the cap, expand the benefits, and fully fund Social Security. Expanding Social Security benefits by $2,400 a year will fully fund Social Security for the next 75 years by applying the payroll tax on all income, including capital gains above $250,000 a year," end quote. So here he is calling out politicians who are being bought out by billionaires.
All these headlines about Sam Bankman-Fried giving all his money to Democrats, which he did. He gave a lot of money through an allied super PAC. That was all money that was traceable. And then he gives an interview. He says, well, actually, I gave just as much to Republicans. I just gave it kind of under the table through these dark money vehicles, thanks to Citizens United. No one really noticed. And what an object lesson in how this can work up on Capitol Hill.
Absolutely. Let's not kid ourselves. It is, we talk about Trump and his friends being a threat to democracy. The other threat to democracy is Citizens United and the ability of billionaires through dark money and sometimes not dark money to buy politicians and buy elections. The bottom line of all of this is that we need to see an increased grassroots movement. And by the way, very good news is we are seeing a growth in the trade union movement. More and more workers are wanting to join unions, stand up for collective bargaining at decent wages and working conditions. Just this afternoon, I was at a rally with rail workers who showed enormous courage in standing up to their industry, made $20 billion in profit last year, and yet they cannot give these guys one paid sick leave a year, not one, which is just horrific. So what we have got to do, and I hope to do as chairman of the Health, Education, and Labor Committee, is tell the people who run Starbucks, tell the people, Bezos and others who run Amazon, you know what? Stop the illegal anti-union activity. Workers have the right to organize.
Yeah, it is definitely about time that they call out these billionaires. They shouldn't dare touch Social Security. And what do our lawmakers want to do? Well, they want to cut Social Security. Yeah, right. Key Republicans say that they will cut Social Security and Medicare if the party gains power. Some Republicans are considering raising the full retirement age to 70 years old. Definitely a huge threat to millions of older Americans and all of those who will grow old. And they're only going to make financial stresses even worse. Republicans have done this before. Back in 1982, President Ronald Reagan and Republicans cut Social Security benefits by raising the full retirement age to 67 years old, which is just a way to say that Congress changed the formula so that benefits would be 10 to 15% smaller at every claim age. Now, Republicans, they want to change the formula again to make 70 years old the so-called full retirement age, which will further cut monthly benefits. I mean, let's face it, guys. With all the cuts Social Security has had to go through, benefits are so not enough to live on. Not at all. They need to make efficient and fair savings vehicles accessible for all workers, not just those who are lucky enough to work at jobs offering retirement benefits. Universal pensions would address the issue. Congress should add more revenue to the system so that Social Security can pay full benefits by 2035. But the Republicans are telling voters that they will cut and privatize the program. One insider has been warning about backroom conversations among Republicans to trim Social Security if they have political power. That's a scary conversation that they're having. Polls suggesting American voters' top concern is the economy. Saving and strengthening Social Security benefits, it is an essential part of that and should motivate any voter who's concerned about the future of their wallet, their finances, and their financial security. This is why we need a new party that's added to the system that isn't corrupt. Apart from that, we should all do our best to add streams of income to our cash flow, be it side hustles, the stock market, or even starting a small business. Feel free to hit me up or even join the Patreon community. There is a link in the description down below if you'd like to learn more about this. There you go, guys. Definitely some major information in our big money update and daily news report. Seniors considering reverse mortgages just to keep up with the rising prices, the real deal with the Social Security increase for 2023, how much to expect, and exactly what Congress is putting on the table for the seniors. I want to thank you guys as always. Thank you so much for always tuning in. Appreciate the thumbs up on the videos. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Be safe.